If you're thinking of real estate investment in Ghana, which you should be doing, land is an option that you should consider purchasing. I'm assuming majority of you know that already. Whether you're looking for a spot in the heart of Accra, Kumasi, or a picturesque location by waterfront in Akosombo or Ada, or perhaps a hilltop hideaway in Ibui, there's something for everyone. Investing in land can be an affordable option when starting out, and the emotional return on investment can be priceless. There's just something special about owning your own piece of land, especially in Accra where the value of land has significantly increased over the past 2 decades. It's quite impressive when you actually think about it. For example, a plot of land in East Legon that would have cost you a couple of $1,000s about 20 years ago is now worth over $500,000. Disclaimer: that just depends on the size of the land and also where in East Legon that you bought. In all, it's a pretty sweet return on investment for those that invested in the right neighborhood at the right time, anticipating infrastructural developments. You see, when things sound this nice, there's usually a problem lurking somewhere. And yes, there's a problem. Land investing isn't as easy or as smooth as just buying the land. One of the inherent challenges is the absence of title insurance. For the same reason you'd get auto insurance, I would think you'd want the same for land. This is different from your home insurance. It's a type of insurance that protects real estate owners and lenders against the loss or damage caused by liens, encumbrances, or defects in the title of the property. Title insurance is quite common in other countries like the US and Canada. And the thing is, without any protection, investing in land can be a pretty risky venture, especially in Ghana where we have numerous issues related to our land ownership system. I'm pretty sure you know someone that's bought land that has been sold to 6 other people. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is, it's like driving a Ferrari without comprehensive insurance. Not a good idea, but that's just how things work over here. Luckily, there are processes in place that you can follow to minimize the risk of falling into any of these issues. It's called due diligence. Basically, doing all the work that would make the property eligible for title insurance, but without the insurance. I'll make a separate video in the future about due diligence. In this video series, I'm going to talk about the 3 different types of land ownerships in Ghana. I'm going to split it into 3 separate videos, so make sure you don't miss any of them. Subscribe. I'll cover government land, stool land, and family land. Understanding the differences between these types of land is super important, especially if you're thinking about buying land in Ghana. I'll also be sharing my personal opinions on the land ownership type that I like the most and the one that I try to avoid. Just keep in mind that these are comparisons to the other land types. So, government land. I personally think this is the best out there. Basically, government land is land that's owned by the state or a state-owned enterprise like State Housing Company Limited, which some of you might already be familiar with. Typically, you find this type of land in well-planned neighborhoods like Northridge, Cantonment, Laboni, Airport Residential Area, and East Legon, and they tend to be the most expensive out of the bunch. Sure, it can involve a bit of bureaucracy when trying to acquire, but the fact is the government is the vested administrator of the land, and that provides you with a lot of security and stability, which is a huge plus for investors. It's important to keep in mind that buying government land doesn't always mean that you need to directly buy it from the government. There are many other channels and parties that you could acquire the land from. So, government land offers a plethora of advantages that make it an attractive option for investors and property developers. First off, the level of documentation and organization that comes with government land. You can expect to find detailed records of the lease and any development on the land, which means that you're less likely to run into any ownership issues down the road. Plus, you need to seek consent from government before making any changes to the land or anything that's been built up on it. You can trust that the land is well managed and taken care of. And if you're in it for the long haul, that kind of security and stability is game changing. Another benefit of investing in government land is the ease of renewing your lease. In the past, government has offered 99-year leases, but nowadays I think the maximum term you can get is 50 years. When it comes to the renewal cost, it's usually about 5 to 10% of the market value of the property. This includes whatever has been built up on it, which is quite considerable when you think about it. Luckily, the government is a pretty reliable landlord and land administrator and has set up processes that make the renewal process a lot more easy and fairly transparent. One important aspect to consider is the length of the lease when you're buying. Sometimes the number of years left on the lease can be closer to the renewal date, so I'll just advise that if you encounter anything like that, use that as a bargaining chip to get a better price since you would have to deal with the renewal cost. To sum it up, if you're looking for a great option for long-term use, government land might just be the way to go. It offers investors and property developers a lot of benefits, including strong documentation, good land management, and a reliable ownership history. Not to mention the ease of the lease renewal and then the reasonable cost of the renewal. And hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on our next video in the series. I'll see you in the next one.